All right, Sam, thank you for helping my group with this usability testing of the OSHA.gov website. The test today is just going to be reviewing the website and the interface and how people interact with it. So just keep in mind while you're doing the test and whatnot that there are no wrong answers necessarily. We're just trying to see how people interact with the website itself. You've already signed our consent form, giving us permission to video record this so we can look back and review it and take some notes later on. We're going to get started with some pre-test questions. Let's start off with number 1, as you should. What is your past experience using the OSHA website? Now you can just verbally announce your answers, and I will type them later just for the sake of time. And also, I encourage you while you're completing your task to think out loud so I can use those thoughts and notes later on.
I have no experience with the OSHA website.
That's totally fine. What area of your life could the OSHA website benefit you? So just as a background, OSHA is responsible for basically setting the rules and regulations in labor industries such as like factories, Amazon, like warehouses where they do shipping a lot. There's a lot of physical labor where people can get hurt, and they're in charge of making sure everyone's staying safe, and they make the rules and also enforce them.
Maybe one place would be like if I have people working on my house, like if I need to renovate something.
Okay. How can OSHA help you in your community or environment in any way you could think of?
I mean, you said safety, so probably just ensure the safety of everybody around us so we know we don't get onto a building that's going to collapse.
Good stuff. All right, so next question is, what about the website do you notice instantly? So upon your first look at this website, what do you notice first?
Very industrial looking.
Okay.
Very straightforward.
Straightforward, okay. Who do you think uses this website, and do you think it would really help the person who uses this website in their life? So typically, a construction worker or someone who owns a construction company, do you think that this website is beneficial to them?
Yeah, definitely anybody that is in construction or building anything, or even people that own businesses where people need to be safe that they could get hurt because of labor, Department of Labor.
All right, so that's going to conclude our pre-test questions. We're now going to start the task. So keep in mind, I'm just going to remind you that there are no wrong answers for this. And just take your time looking for things. Some of these questions are supposed to be a little bit more difficult than others and be a little bit challenging to complete. And we kept that in mind when making these questions just so we could get a variety of answers. Because if everyone could answer every single question, we wouldn't learn a whole lot. So we're going to start off with question number 1 out of 10. First one is, find the lowest point a person can stand without being tied off with a harness. Yeah, you can go back and forth. You can use any part of the website you want.
Oh, wow. Are all of these links on the OSHA website?
Anything that says OSHA.gov right
Yeah.
there
Oh,
will be.
Yeah.
I will suggest, though, on the main page, there are a few drop-down arrows that have different categories like the OSHA, standards, topics, help, and resources. That might be a good place to start, just looking at those. I'm just gonna redirect your efforts here. If you go back up to the top few sections, we have the standards topics. If you click on standards, or my bad, topics, and go over to fall prevention, search around there under topics, fall prevention.
I think 6 feet.
Mm-hmm. You're correct. It is 6 feet.
Yeah, workers who are 6 feet or more.
There we go. All right. Okay. Good job. We're gonna go to the next task now. So find and file the complaint tab and file a complaint about an unsafe work site. You're not gonna have to actually submit it. We just want to make sure, because that's a pretty important part of the OSHA website, is people being able to report things. So basically, just pretend you walked past an unsafe work site, and you're just trying to do your part and make sure people are staying safe out there. Yeah, so you don't have to fill any of the information, but if you just scroll through it and see if all that stuff makes sense, or if there's anything that just is doesn't make any sense, or something you feel the website might be missing when filing a report. If you could think out loud a little bit, your thought process.
It looks extremely straightforward. Like, as a person filing the complaint, it looks like it does a pretty good job of not giving away. I don't have to give much of my personal information out, which I personally would like, because I would kind of feel bad complaining about somebody, but I'd really just be looking out for their safety. But it looks like it has everything that I would think of mentioning.
Good stuff. All right, so that's a perfectly adequate answer. We can move on to the next task. Is going to be change the language to Spanish and then back to English. And if you, by chance, speak any Spanish or know any Spanish, does that look linguistically correct to you? For the most part?
For the little Spanish I took in high school, it looks pretty dang on point.
All right.
Yeah.
And just change it back to English, and that's the end of that task.
Oh, wait. There we go.
Good stuff. And you can go back to the Word document and we'll move on to task number 4. Copy and paste the 3 COVID-related charts into an email and send it to yourself. Just for convenience sake, you're just going to use my email and email it to you via my email when you find the charts I'm talking about. If you click the back arrow, that's actually a sub-website of that's the U.S. Department of Labor, which is the company
I was going to say, this looks like a completely different
that runs
website.
the OSHA website. Occupational Safety and Housing. You can click on that tab right there.
There.
I know the question seems vague of the 3 charts, but you should be able to. When you see them, you'll know which ones I'm talking about.
The 3 charts. Oh. Okay.
Those
So
are the
I'm
charts.
copying and pasting them?
If you just basically figure out a way to send that information to essentially a coworker, in this case being yourself.
All right. Oh wow, not all that. Ah. Okay, I think this is definitely a user error right now. And then how do I access your email?
You can just go click on new tab on the computer, click on the little Google icon, and up in the right hand corner click on Gmail. In your left hand corner is going to be a plus arrow where you can compose right up there. Quite a few emails I need to check.
So everyone's going to see my email?
I can the only people that are going to see your email are going to be people that are on this project with me, and I doubt you'll get any strange emails, and if you do, I know who they're coming from. So
I didn't realize your computer is different from mine.
all
I
good.
don't think I copied it.
It's all good. It still should be highlighted on the last page.
Oh,
That looked like it probably did it. So if you want to just send that to yourself, and then later on after the video you can confirm whether or not that link works, and that shall suffice for that question.
okay.
So if you want to just go back to the main OSHA page, and then we can continue on with the test. Okay, so question 5 is find the enforcement memo about drones on the date 5/18/2018. So
Enforcement
just to
memo
point
about
you in the right
drones.
direction, OSHA has to post all of their, all of the information that gets posted that OSHA does is all public information, so they have to make it available to the public. So not only should it be available to the public, but it should also be, pretty easy to find. So that's why we're testing this.
What is it? A statement? Find the enforcement memo. Can I use a search bar?
You can use a search bar, although we do encourage you to try to not use it at first and use that as a second. Alright, you seem a little lost, but you can absolutely use the search bar and type in
Drone. Or the date.
Type in whatever you please.
Did I even spell that right? Oh. The enforcement memo. 5/8/2018. 5/18/2018.
So, yep, that's the article that we were looking for. We can now move on to the next task. 6. Find out if people who work for state/local governments are covered by the federal OSHA program.
feel like that would be under, like, the rights.
So the workers they're talking about are people that work for OSHA, not necessarily the people that the regulations are for, like a construction worker. They're talking about if people that work for OSHA in the offices around the country, if they're covered under the law or policy that was stated in the question.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, Congress created. Oh, wait. I think I'm in the right direction.
So you are on the right web page. It looks like you're just having a little bit of trouble locating the information, but if you look under OSHA coverage, one of the subheadings, you might be able to find some information under there. Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the answer is yes. We were just once again we're testing the usability here, so if you could sort of explain why the answer is yes.
OSHA Act covers most private sector employers and their workers, in addition to public sector employers.
Yep. Okay. So that's a good enough answer for me.
Under like the federal attorney. So
Yep.
Like,
That's basically what the question was asking. Good job. We can move on to the next task. So go to the how to file a whistleblower complaint, read the introduction, and verbally restate it in your own words. The purpose for this question is just to basically make sure that the information that OSHA is trying to, portray to its audience is basically on par with the type of people that are going to be reading this information. So basically, OSHA doesn't want it to sound too like dumbed down or too, almost intricate. They want it to be pretty straightforward, at least from our point of view, the ones doing the research project. So just find how to go. You gotta go to
how to file a whistleblower complaint.
So, yeah.
I don't know what a whistleblower is. So I think that's the only place to start. Did I spell it right? I don't think so.
Well, just to point you in the right direction here, complaint is it's a key word, I'll say. So you just read that intro right there, and then in your own words describe to me, basically what it's saying.
Should I read the intro out loud?
You don't have to if you want to.
So basically, if you feel like there's something wrong with your whistleblower, you have the right to complain to your employer.
Do you know what the whistleblower is? Does the website make that pretty evident?
I have no idea what a whistleblower is.
Okay. Maybe on the website see if it can tell you, or you can figure that out real quick, and then we'll give you about 30 seconds, a minute to figure it out, and then I'll let you know what it is just to. So, in the intro it says you have the right to file a whistleblower complaint with OSHA if you believe your employer retaliated against you for exercising rights as an employee under the whistleblower protection law enforced by OSHA. In states with OSHA approved state plans, employee may file complaints under Section 11C of the Occupational Safety and Health Act with federal OSHA and with state plans under equivalent statutory provision. Basically, what that's saying is that if someone files a complaint against you and you think that they are just out to get you and you have reason to prove that, like say you fired an employee and they write a review to OSHA trying to get your project shut down. If you have reason to prove that they had ill intent in trying to basically, being a whistleblower, just
So whistleblower is a
wolf.
I thought whistleblower was like a machine.
No, it is a term.
Okay.
Sort of like the girl who cried wolf type, exactly the same thing.
Okay.
Yep. So we can move on to the next question now. Learn something today, maybe. So without typing it in the search bar, find out what ADR is, what it stands for, and how it's useful in an OSHA investigation. People
ADR.
having trouble with this one, trying to find it. I will say, look at the question again, maybe, and think about, look for some keywords or some context clues, possibly to help you guide your search.
So without using the search bar, I have to find ADR.
Yes, if you could.
Can I Google?
No, because this is a testing of the usability of the OSHA website, not Google.
Maybe resources? Could be the R.
So just to point you in the right direction, if you want to click on the question again. Towards the end of the question, it's asking you, how is it useful in an OSHA investigation? So maybe look for something about investigations on the website, or relating to investigation. I'll give you a few minutes here to figure it out, and then we'll move on from there. And once again, no worries if you can't find it. This is just a test of the website, not of your ability to find an abbreviation.
Investigation. So ADR. No clue.
No clue.
Literally no idea.
A to Z index. I will tell you that the ADR is not on the A to Z index, but there might be something on there that could help you. We'll just give this another few minutes and then we'll move on.
Investigation isn't on here either.
It's all good. We can move on to the next question now. Don't feel bad about that one. No one's been able to. Might just be a bad question to ask because it's too specific. Along with this next one, number 9, is along the same lines. It's pretty difficult. Locate and open the non-disclosure pilot 11C. Complaints only. Regions V and X, March 1st, 2017. Document, then open any other policy document that is under the directives section. So in order to reinstate that so it might make more sense, basically what the question is asking you to do is go to the directives section and find that article and then any other article.
Directives. There it is. March 1st, 2017. I feel like I was on the right track with directives.
You're on the right page right there. It's asking you to look for a non-public disclosure, which basically means it's going to be public information or something along those lines.
Complaints only.
So you're able, I'd say, to complete the second part of the question, which is asking you to open up any article in the directives section, which is what you're in now. So basically, you just have to
Like
open
click
one
on.
of those, and you would have completed that part of the task.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I need to go to like complaints.
All good.
And then fine. Okay, I think I like understand what it's asking it, but I don't know.
Once again, I think that might just be the.
So with like this.
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
Okay,
right there.
like opening this would that count as a second part?
But we're not going to do that right
Okay.
now.
All right.
Then we have one last question. The last task, please find the most recent post that OSHA has released to the public on their website. This is going to be in something that OSHA releases. They have a little news section. And just, if you could tell me what the newest piece of information they've released is.
October 30th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday.
Yep. It was about what?
There
There it is. There's the post.
Well, this is the entire post. Respiratory protection. Guidance forced on protecting workers in nursing homes. About COVID.
Yeah. Alrighty, so that's going to complete our task. I do have some post-test questions to ask you.
Do you want me to type them or just answer?
You can just answer them. I'll fill them out later. What task did you have trouble completing and why? You don't necessarily have to go through all the ones you had trouble with. Just pick one that maybe stuck out the most.
The ADR or whatever that one is.
Yeah.
I was that a lot of
You think that was because of the question itself was almost too difficult to answer, or something with the website?
Maybe both. I just have no clue what ADR is. And if it's important, then maybe it's something on the website.
Absolutely. Okay, so how many times do you think you would have to use a website in order to be efficient with gathering information off of it? Being able to navigate the website pretty well.
I think most times when you navigate a website at first, it's obviously not going to be super simple. I think maybe having information on the topic, like, just knowing the analogies and abbreviations.
Yeah, just takes time. Just takes time to learn that stuff. So if you just had to sort of guess how many times you'd have to use the website in order to get good at it.
Oh, OSHA's?
Yeah,
or any...
OSHA's website.
OSHA's website specifically. Oh, a lot.
Would you say more than probably 10 occasions you'd have to use it in order
to get like familiar with it, probably around that many.
Around 10. Gotcha. Would you use the website again or recommend it to anyone you know?
I mean, Google's definitely going to be the first thing I go to. And hopefully it skims through the OSHA website and sends me directly to where it needs to be.
Yep, absolutely. So here's where I'm just going to insert something that I basically just make this question up myself as we go. So how well would you say the A to Z function of the website, do you say on a scale from 1 to 10, did it perform, well? Was that beneficial to you, or was it, not useful at all? 1 being negative, 10 being positive.
I'd probably say that like an 8 because it did really help with the directives, but it didn't have all of the information I was looking for.
All right. In your own workplace, how useful would this website be? Very useful, not useful?
Probably not very useful, just because I'm planning on being a teacher. I don't see this personally affecting my day-to-day life with them.
Absolutely, totally fair. Could you take what you did today and teach others how to use the OSHA website, or possibly find information on the OSHA website?
If a friend came to me, asking to, telling a story about saying something that she doesn't think is right with somebody, helping fix her house or something, I'd be able to help her file a complaint. But
it's definitely a good thing to be able to teach somebody how to do.
Yeah.
Now for our last question is how likely, on a scale from 1 to 10, are you to use this website again to answer any job site questions, or in your case, help somebody, or possibly even just answer a question for your own knowledge?
If I'm curious about something, I feel like I'd be able to go to this site. But in the rest of my life, I will probably come back to this site less than 10 times.
So on a scale from 1 to 10, you'd put it probably around 2 or 3?
Yes.
2 or 3.
Unlikely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sam, for your time. This concludes our test. Do you have any other questions or concerns?
I don't, thank you though.
Great.